Think you know American history? Sure, you've heard of Washington, Lincoln, and the Declaration of Independence, but history isn't neat, and the textbook version leaves out a lot. Today, we're diving into 5 forgotten stories, riots, disasters, lost leaders, and wars on American soil that challenge everything you thought you knew. These aren't just trivia, they're the missing pieces that reveal a messier, more fascinating America. Get ready to see the side of history your teachers skipped. Let's pull back the curtain and discover the untold stories that truly shaped the nation. Long before January 6, 2021, the U.S. Capitol faced another angry mob in 1835. Economic turmoil and President Andrew Jackson's war on the national bank fueled public outrage. A furious crowd stormed the Capitol, not for peaceful protest, but to force change. The government's response? Deploying federal troops to restore order, a controversial move that set a precedent for military intervention in civil unrest. This forgotten riot exposed deep divisions in the young nation. Though overshadowed by other events, it sparked debates about government power that echo to this day. The 1835 Capitol riot wasn't just chaos, it was a turning point in how America handles dissent. And yet most of us never learned about it. Picture this. Boston, 1919. A 5-story tank holding 2.3 million gallons of molasses explodes. A 25-foot wave of sticky syrup barrels through the city at 35 miles per hour, crushing buildings and sweeping away everything in its path. 21 people died, 150 were injured, and the city was coated in molasses for weeks. The disaster led to one of the first major class action lawsuits and stricter building regulations nationwide. The cause? Shoddy construction and ignored warning signs, not sabotage. The Great Molasses Flood became a landmark for corporate accountability. It sounds absurd, but this sticky tragedy changed American industry forever. And yes, Boston smelled like molasses for years. Everyone knows George Washington was the first U.S. president, or was he? Before the Constitution, the Articles of Confederation created a weaker government and a different kind of president. In 1781, John Hanson became the first President of the United States in Congress assembled. Hanson signed documents, handled foreign affairs, and led the nation, at least ceremonially. 8 men held this title before Washington, but they had little real power. Washington was the first under the Constitution, with true executive authority. So, was Hanson the first president? It's a debate that complicates the simple story we're taught. Forgotten leaders like Hanson remind us that history is rarely as clear-cut as it seems. Armed uprisings in America didn't end with the Revolution or Civil War. In 1921, 10,000 coal miners in West Virginia fought the Battle of Blair Mountain, the largest labor uprising in U.S. history. Miners, fed up with brutal conditions, marched to unionize by force, facing off against private armies and machine guns. For 5 days, the hills became a war zone, with bombs dropped from planes and thousands exchanging gunfire. The government sent in the army, and the miners, many veterans, stood down rather than fight their countrymen. Hundreds were arrested, but most were acquitted. The battle was a crushing defeat for unions, and its story was buried for decades. Blair Mountain remains a shocking, nearly forgotten chapter in the American labor struggle. Few realize a real war was fought on American soil in the 20th century. Centralia, Pennsylvania, once a thriving mining town, has been burning underground since 1962. A landfill fire ignited coal seams beneath the town, creating a hidden inferno. For years, residents lived with toxic gases, buckling roads, and sinkholes. The crisis peaked when a boy nearly fell into a steaming 150-foot pit in his backyard. The government relocated nearly everyone, leaving Centralia a ghost town. The fire still burns today and could last centuries. Centralia inspired the eerie setting of the Silent Hill video games, but the real story is even stranger, and still smoldering. So there you have it. Riots, floods, forgotten presidents, secret wars, and a town on fire. History isn't just about the big names, it's about the strange, hidden stories that shape who we are. These events prove that the past is messier and more fascinating than any textbook. Which story surprised you most? Let us know in the comments. If you love discovering mystical facts,